The bacon are fast dwindling away. The informal sector is progressing significantly due to women finding creative ways to make an income, even more so than men. Africa is the, I beg your pardon, the foremost in the world when it comes to exponential growth in female economic ventures across the globe. Well, today we've got Dr. Joni Musabayana. He is the Deputy Director from the International Labour Organization. Good to have you on the program. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you, Leah, and good morning.
Goodness me, I'm choking on just talking about women.
Sure.
You can hear this. Women are becoming more and more proactive. Talk to us about this. What are they doing?
Yes, Leanne, thank you very much. Yes, the issue of informality in Africa is becoming a very topical issue. We at the International Labour Organization have been following trends in the informal economy in Africa since 1972, when the term informal sector was coined by the ILO in a mission to Kenya. But it is transforming. It's no longer the backwater. You find, yes, women participation. The face of the informal economy in Africa is largely women. But that is transforming. The type of activities that they're engaged in are becoming higher up the value chain. This is thanks in part to years of investment in education. So the Girl Child program to increase the quality of education. This is in part also because of the transforming nature of African economies. There's much more money flowing in, but the challenges remain. The issues of regulation, the issues of access to finance, the issues of access to market still continue to hobble women operating in the informal sector.
Yeah, opportunities must be very diverse. Where are most women susceptible to take initiatives and why?
Yeah, first of all, normally women are getting into business activities that are linked to their traditional role in the family. So you'll find a lot of women in the food sector. You'll find a lot of women in the clothing sector. But more and more they are breaking out of these, let's say, stereotyped roles because of better education, because of better access to skills, but also because the nature of African economies are transforming. As African economies grow, more and more opportunities are making themselves available in what were formerly traditionally non-traditional sectors, let's say like tourism.
Informal sectors, I mean, that's something that we need to look at because men don't seem to be as active as women are in the informal sector. What are the reasons between the disparity?
Leanne, I think a part of the historical legacy where the education system prepared people to look for a job, let's say a desk job, a white-collar job, we can call it that. But it is clear now that as economies grow, the capacity to create jobs is not as much as the growth itself. So we are beginning to see the phenomenon of jobless growth. And with that, you are seeing that more and more women are breaking out of the traditional sectors and going into business because a lot of the lack of employment is hitting, let's say, the traditional household head who was the man in the traditional setting.
You know, the spectrum for growth in the informal sector is highest in Africa when we look at it. Can you tell us from your expertise, why is this? Why is it such a lucrative sector?
I think, unfortunately, we have to go back to the rules and regulations. I think that there's been a dichotomy between the policies articulated on the one hand by national governments. Most governments now want to grow the economy, want to achieve 5%, 7% growth to be able to eat into the unemployment that is besetting many African countries. But on the other hand, the regulations, particularly at the local level, because a lot of the rules and regulations that bind business are with municipal authorities at the very local level. And those rules and regulations, licensing, getting recognition, are not as easy as the national policies that are being articulated. So let's say there's a disjuncture between the two, the policies on the one hand and the regulations on the other. And that in the primary is the one that drives informality.
Now, obviously there's a lot that can be done to assist women in the informal sector in forming these lucrative ventures. What's being done? How can we help?
First, it has to start with impacting with government, local authorities to make the enabling environment better for women entrepreneurs. And this has to do also with association building and representation. The more women are organized in associations, the more voice they can have. The more voice they can have, the more it is easier for them to dialogue with national authorities. And a key phenomenon of this across the continent is the increasing democratization of institutions. So at a very local level, local politicians, local authorities have to listen more to organized women in associations because it counts on voting day. So that is a key trend. But other more fundamental business issues are also at play. We need greater access to finance. And yes, many banking institutions are now realizing that there is money to be made at the bottom of the pyramid. So you see a lot more flexible products being designed to access women at the lower levels. And technology is playing a big role. This has to do with cell phones, with more access to technology through cell phones that are able to access the internet. So access to information is increasing. But also access to market is crucial. It is much more clearer now that people need greater regulated access to market for them to be able to perform better. And women, through organization, are able to access business markets that they need not be able to access in the past.
You know, this development in the labor sector is very impressive, particularly that Africa is seen as a developing country. What are your expectations about the future of women in entrepreneurship?
I think the future looks very bright. A key foundation has to be education. As primary education, secondary education, and then much more tertiary education. So as these become much more available to women at levels that were not available in the past, thanks in part to the achievements through the girl child education schemes of the Millennium Development Goals that were pushed by the UN. So we are beginning to reap the benefits of that. Because they have better skills, they are able to see and exploit market opportunities that women of the past era were not able to. But I think also as Africa develops, as the increasing urbanization in Africa, that offers more business opportunities than in the past. So you see a gradual shift from, let's say, peasant-type agricultural-based activities by African women to much more urbanized activities in the informal economy. And over time, you are going to see much more activity in more higher up the value chain, out of the informal economy and into the formal business setting. So you see a gradual transformation.
Thank you for talking to us. Thank you so much for your time. The Deputy Director from the International Labour Organization talking to us from our parliamentary studios. That's Dr. Joni Musabayana. So thank you very, very much for being with us. Let's take a